welcome back, ladies, to the 10 days of Galentines. And some of us are single, some of us are taken, but I'm not a believer in neglecting yourself, especially in the season of love. This series, we're going to be talking about every single little thing that you can do to pour back into yourself, to show love to yourself, to care for yourself, increase your femininity, and all that jazz. If you don't want to miss out, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time that I post. Also, this series is available on Spotify. Yep. If you are not able to watch this fully, or if you're not in a space to watch this, you can listen to it. The link will be in my description. Today, you read the title. We're going to be breaking up with toxic relationships and toxic habits. There are things that you do and there are things that you settle for and accept that are completely unacceptable. We're going to be discussing those and we're going to set ourselves free. These are the chapters for today's video, and let's get right into it. This is gonna call a lot of you guys out, but a toxic habit that you need to break up with is triggering your attachment style rather than chasing security. This is such a big thing and I need you to listen up. So we're all on this journey, okay? We're trying to make friends, we're going on dates, entering into relationships. And this is great. We love being young, hot, flirty, and fun. This is very youthful. This is very encouraged. But the problem is that we keep entering into relationships, whether platonic or romantic, with people who mirror the same behaviors that made us feel neglected, unsafe, or unloved in childhood or in the past. All of your boyfriends are heavily nonchalant, deeply emotionally unavailable. You have to prove your worth and yourself to them every single time, and you think that's just a coincidence.
Let me just go in the bush and weep.
All of your friends keep using you for things, and you minimize yourself every single time and don't feel safe enough to voice your boundaries to them because you cannot be a nuisance to them in any way, shape, or form in order to be loved, and you think that's a coincidence. You keep ditching people who give you words of affirmation for people who deprive you of words of affirmation, and you think that's a coincidence. Wake up, wake up, wake up. When things are healthy, you're loving, safe, you're bored. You no longer feel connected to them. You start thinking, oh, maybe we're just not compatible. Like he doesn't give me butterflies. He doesn't make me feel like the spark anymore. The spark is gone.
Child. Anyways.
What you're seeking is not butterflies. What you're seeking is being in fight or flight mode because that's what's comfortable to you, even though it's not healthy. What you were seeking is a heavily avoidant man or friend because that is what you were used to, even though that is not what's best for you. Toxic habits and toxic relationships are like putting maybe a cup over a candle. Eventually, that candle is going to burn out. In this loving season, I think we need to step back and take a look at all the traits and the habits that we would need in order to burn bright and not burn out. Because once you now have an idea of what you will be acting like, what a healthy relationship will look like, then you can start to break up with your toxic habits and toxic relationships and embrace new habits and new relationships. Let's say you now realize what the habits are. You now realize that the relationship is actually toxic, that the friendship is toxic, and that you have to leave, you have to get out, but you won't leave. You stay in it because you're scared to be alone. You were scared to be alone. In 2025, I think that we need to do ourselves a favor and to stop lying to ourselves. You're not afraid of being alone. We're actually afraid that the absence of a friend or of a significant other means that the statement or the theory that we aren't worthy of love or that nobody will love us is true. You think that by them leaving you or you leaving them proves to you that you are not worthy of love or that you cannot get healthy love. You aren't afraid of being alone. You're afraid of being lonely. And because a lot of us are afraid of being lonely, we desperately hold on to these toxic relationships and friends because they're giving us a sense of validation. I want to take the veil off your eyes for a second. Let's say all your life, you're used to receiving 30% of love, okay? Somebody comes along and they give you 40% of love. If you're someone that's used to receiving 30% and somebody comes along and gives you 40%, you're going to be like, wow, what? This is great. This is great. This is fantastic. This is amazing, because you're so used to receiving less than that. But now that I took the veil off your eyes, you know that 40% is not that great. 40% isn't even the bare minimum. The bare minimum is 50. And they're still giving you under the bare minimum. But because you're used to 30, you were going to settle for the 40, even though that doesn't even touch the baseline of what you should be receiving. You let them get away with treating you so toxically or so unhealthily just because they're giving you 10% more than what you're used to. But I want you to think about it this way. If you were so used to 30% and you thought that 30% was all that you were going to get, and somebody came along, you didn't go after them, they came along and they gave you 40%. Does it not occur to you that you can also get 50? That you can also get 60? Because you thought you were never going to get 40 and you got 40, which means that you were capable of getting more. I'm not somebody that's always like the grass is always greener on the other side, the grass is always greener on the other side. Absolutely not. The grass is greener when you water it. However, I want us to be watering actual plants and not weeds. 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, 100% is possible for you. Break up with the toxic habit of being afraid of being alone so that you can embrace higher quality love and higher quality relationships. Another toxic habit that I need you to divorce yourself from, because this is insane, is losing yourself in a person. Let's go back to the 30-40 thing that I brought up before. A lot of us, when we now experience that extra 10% for the first time, we then get super infatuated because it's new. This new more level of love is mind-boggling. Even though it is lower than the bare minimum, but it's more than what we got before, it makes you feel so good, so much so that you were like, I never want to be without this again, because of the limiting belief that it can't get any better than that. And so because you were like, I never want to go without this particular love ever again, you start losing yourself in that person. Everything that they like, you now like. Everything that they do, you now also want to do. No disagreement, no voicing your actual opinions and your likes and your interests and dislikes, because you don't want to risk losing that person. You don't want to risk being seen as too much to handle, as so much of a hassle, because then if you're too high maintenance, he will leave you and you have to go back and settle for the 30. But oh my gosh, girlies, I need you to remember that anybody that you keep or catch with a fake or temporary persona are never going to be permanent. And I hate to see my girlies go down like this. I really do. Because you are wasting all this time and effort for people that aren't truly aligned with you. They are aligned with the person that you were putting forth that you were. When you could have been spending that time and taking that time, putting back into yourself, growing yourself, becoming more of you, learning more about yourself, and then in turn attracting people who will align with that version of you, the true you. Please divorce yourself from this habit. I don't want to see any one of y'all repeating this behavior. Do not lose yourself in a man. Do not lose yourself in a friend. This person is supposed to be an addition to your life. They're not there to make you complete. They are an addition to an already whole you. Divorcing yourself from these toxic habits and relationships is very much a process, because a lot of it is formed from maybe the way that we received love or the way that we experienced love as children or in past relationships, in adolescence, all that type of stuff. But these two ways that I want you to approach it will definitely be the starting point and the catalyst for you to not only grow in self-love, but to actually expect better from people that you are going to be in relationships with, whether it is romantic or whether it is platonic. So the first thing that you are going to do in order to start the journey of you breaking up with these toxic habits is that you're going to look at a situation of an unhealthy relationship that you're in, whether it's platonic or romantic, through the lens of your 10-year-old self. Actually, let's bump it up to like 14, whatever. If you were in a room with your 14-year-old self and you saw her trying so hard to fix herself so that she can show the other person that she is worthy of them loving her, that they are not making a mistake by loving her. You saw your 14-year-old self being so afraid of being alone, losing all of her personality so that she can be further connected to this other person that she's trying so hard to be with. Would you sit there and say nothing? Absolutely not. Because you know that she doesn't deserve that. So now let's go back into the future, into the present. Look at yourself now. In these relationships that you're in, losing all your personality because you want so desperately to be loved by this person. You are so hard on yourself, having this perfectionistic mindset over yourself, a natural human being, by the way, trying so hard to fix and fix and fix because you are so scared that they're gonna see a flaw of yours and decide that they're completely done with you and discard you. You think that you deserve that? You think that you now deserve that? Look at yourself now. Do you want to stay in this situation? Do you still want to keep harming yourself by repeating these toxic cycles? If your answer is yes, she's being harmed too. 14-year-old you is being harmed too. That 14-year-old you, when you looked back at her and you saw her in this situation and you felt bad for her, this is not another person. This is still you. This is still you. You are both one and the same experiences, same memory, same person. By you not breaking these cycles, by you not breaking these habits, choosing not to embrace a healthier relationship, to embrace healthier friendships, to look at yourself in a healthier light, you are not allowing her to get a better outcome. You are not allowing yourself to get a better outcome when that is completely possible for you. And do you know how it's completely possible for you? Do you know how it starts? Is by number 2, understanding that you deserve better. I didn't say believe that you deserve better, because at this stage, a lot of us might not believe it. I didn't say agree that you deserve better, because again, at this stage, a lot of us might not agree. I said understand. Understand that you do not need to be with somebody that reminds you of your dysfunctional childhood. Understand that you deserve somebody that will make you feel safe. Understand that you do not need to become the person that you love by force in order for you to be loved. Understand that it is not your job to fix people. Understanding is knowing the mechanics of something. Understanding how it makes sense. You don't need to feel like you deserve better at this particular stage. You just need to know. Understanding is enough. If a regular person deserves it, then you deserve it too. And the last way of how to feel more okay with breaking up with these toxic habits or relationships, you need to recognize that there is a reality out there with you having friends or a partner that loves you exactly how you are, for who you are. There is a reality out there with friends and a partner who you won't have to minimize or hide parts of yourself in order for you to be more palatable for them. With people who you can communicate with in love, who you can inspire growth in, and who can inspire growth in you as well. And literally, that reality is accessible if you take the step today, like right now. It happens in here first, and then it happens in here, and then it becomes a reality. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I really hope that a lot of you take this video as the sign to basically be like, no, I'm done. I deserve more. I deserve better, because that's exactly the way that you should be thinking in every single aspect of your life. Please like this video if you enjoyed this type of content. Remember, this series is going to be happening for the next 2 weeks, so subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time that I post. Leave a comment, because I read all of my comments and I want to hear what you guys are thinking. And don't forget to follow me on all of my social media, because I want to interact with you guys a lot more on Instagram this year. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.